Hello, boys and girls. Our reading lesson for today is to read a book and then draw a new illustration to go along with the story. I'm going to read The Tiny Seed by Eric Carle. And then as I read the story, I'm going to be thinking of another picture I could be drawing to go along with this story. You be thinking of a picture that you could draw too. It is autumn. A strong wind is blowing. It blows flower seeds high in the air and carries them far across the land. One of the seeds is a tiny, smaller than any of the others. Will it be able to keep up with the others? And where are they all going? Where do you think those seeds are going? They're blowing in the wind, aren't they? One of the seeds flies higher than the others. Up it goes. It flies too high, and the sun's hot rays burn it up. But the tiny seed sails on with the others. Look right here where this one got so hot. The sun's rays had it burn up. Another seed lands on a tall and icy mountain. The ice never melts, and the seed cannot grow. The rest of the seeds fly on, but the tiny seed does not go as fast as the others. Look at that seed that landed in the snow, and we know that seeds won't grow if they don't have warm sun, will they? Now they fly over the ocean. One seed falls into the water and drowns. Oh, there it is, too much water, it's going to drown. The others sail on with the wind, but the tiny seed does not go as high as the others. Can you tell which one is the tiny seed? It's that little one right there. It's not as high as the others, is it? One seed drifts down onto the desert. It is hot and dry, and the seed cannot grow. Now the tiny seed is flying very low, but the wind pushes it on with the others. So there's the seed in the desert. It's not going to grow because there's no water, and we learned before that plants need water, don't they? Finally, the wind stops, and the seeds fall gently down on the ground. A bird comes by and eats one seed. The tiny seed is not eaten. It is so small that the bird does not see it. Do you see where the tiny seed is? Can you see it? Look how tiny. It's hard to see it, isn't it? Now it is winter. After their long trip, the seeds settle down. They look just as if they're going to sleep in the earth. Snow falls and covers them like a soft white blanket. A hungry mouse that also lives in the ground eats a seed for his lunch, but the tiny seed lies very still and the mouse does not see it. Now it is spring. After a few months, the snow is melted. It is really spring. Birds fly by. The sun shines. Rain falls. The seeds grow so round and full, they start to burst open a little. Now they are not seeds anymore. They are plants. Look at our plants. They're starting to grow, aren't they? First, they send roots down into the earth. Then their little stems and leaves begin to grow up toward the sun and air. There is another plant that grows much faster than the new little plants. It is a big fat weed. And it takes all the sunlight and the rain away from one of the small new plants. And that little plant dies. Look. It's under there. It can't get any sun. It can't get any water. And we know that plants need food and water to live. The warm weather also brings the children out to play. They too have been waiting for the sun in springtime. One child doesn't see the plants as he runs along and, oh, he breaks one. Now it cannot grow anymore. When you're outside and you see plants and flowers growing, be very careful and don't step on them or it won't be able to grow anymore like this little plant. The tiny plant that grew from the tiny seed is growing fast, but its neighbor grows even faster. Before the tiny plant has 3 leaves, the other plant has 7. And look, a bud, and now a flower. But what is happening? First there are footsteps, then a shadow looms over them, then a hand reaches down and breaks off the flower. I bet the plant is sad that someone broke it off. A boy has picked the flower to give to a friend. There's the boy, and he picked it to give to that girl, didn't he? It is summer. Now the tiny plant from the tiny seed is all alone. It grows on and on. It doesn't stop. The sun shines on it and the rain waters it. It has many leaves. It grows taller and taller. It is taller than the people. It is taller than the trees. It is taller than the houses. And now a flower grows on it. People come from far and near to look at this flower. It is the tallest flower they have ever seen. It is a giant flower. Have you ever seen a flower that tall? Look how tall it grew, and look at the people. Look how little they look. All summer long, the birds and bees and butterflies come visiting. They have never seen such a big and beautiful flower. Look how little that bird looks next to the flower. Now it is autumn again. The days grow shorter, the nights grow cooler, and the wind carries yellow and red leaves past the flower. Some petals drop from the giant flower, and they sail along with the bright leaves over the land and down to the ground. I can tell it's autumn because the leaves are so pretty. The wind blows harder. The flower has lost almost all of its petals. It sways and bends away from the wind, but the wind grows stronger and shakes the flower. Once more the wind shakes the flower, and this time the flower's seed pod opens. Out come many tiny seeds that quickly sail far away on the wind. There go the seeds. They came out of the seed pod and they're sailing with the wind. And what do you think's going to happen now? That was the end of the story, but what do you think happens after all the seeds fly away in the wind? It goes right back to the beginning of the story where the seeds were flying along and were landing places, and later the little seed started growing, didn't it? Well, our assignment was to draw a new illustration to go along with the story. Well, one of the illustrations that I liked in the book was where the little boy was giving a flower to his friend. It always makes me happy when someone gives me a flower because I know they're thinking about me. So I drew a new illustration where the little boy was not giving a flower to a friend, but he was giving it to his mother. So I'm going to show you my picture. In my picture, the little boy and his mom had gone on a picnic. And they're outside, and the mom is sitting on the blanket. Sometimes when we go on picnics, we'd take a blanket, and we'd have a picnic and eat some food while we're outside. Well, that's what was happening in my picture. The sun is shining. It's just a few white clouds in the sky, and the little boy brings a flower to his mom. And that's an illustration that I would add to the book. What illustration would you like to add? Think about another picture that you would like to have that went along with this story, and you can draw that, or You can read a book and then draw an illustration that you would like to add to that story. So think about how you can draw a new illustration to go along with the book that you read. Have fun drawing. Bye.